Hello and welcome to part 2 of this overview of the IBM Eserver. It's been a long couple of days. We finally got the system to boot up into a live Linux distribution. Thank goodness, because this video can now go public. I was afraid that I just wasted a couple days messing with this computer, but I did not, thank goodness, thanks to this lightweight Linux distribution called Point, and thanks to PLOP, which has been an absolute savior for me. I'm probably just going to make a video about PLOP after this. Just a heads up, guys, there were a lot of failures in this video, and I'm going to edit them all in just so you can see how long it took me to get to this point. But I'm going to put it in the video, I'm going to annotate it when you can actually see the computer running this live operating system, because I'm sure some of you don't want to watch all of my struggle and all the failures that we had. So I'm going to put it right here, the time when you can just skip through and go to that time so you can see me running Point on this PC. Let's go ahead and get started. I hope you enjoy. Don't judge me too poorly because it was a struggle, as I said earlier. I am done. I'm really tired and I'm ready to get this video out on YouTube and finish editing it. Oh, and real quick, before we get started, I want to tell my viewers about something, and that would be the startup of a GoFundMe campaign. So you can read all about that in the description. We have a separate video coming up soon in the future, all about the GoFundMe campaign and what exactly we're doing. But if you check out the description, you'll get early access to some free stuff. Obviously, not all of it is there yet because I'm not done creating it. That's the whole point of the GoFundMe campaign. We need better hardware to create more said free stuff. So go ahead, check that out. I would really appreciate it. Tell your friends about it. You know, tell everyone you can, because we need all the funding we can get for this. We need a better machine, some more hardware, and of course, more funding for our operating costs. Okay, so I didn't really think this would work, but first I tried booting off a IDE hard drive with Windows XP on it, and that's right there. And that got up to the error screen and then crashed directly after. So Windows XP would not boot with this machine, at least not with that configuration. I would have to do a clean install. But I also have a hard drive filling around with Windows 7 Ultimate on it, 32-bit edition, and that actually did boot. Got to the logo, the startup logo, and then it crashed. So when I booted it back up, it went into its failsafe mode and asked me if I want to run the repair process. So I'm trying that now. Maybe that will work, but I'm doubting it will because, I mean, what's really to repair? It's just a different system configuration, so all the drivers aren't right, and it's just not used to the configuration. So I'm not sure if the repair will fix that or not. I've actually never really used this feature on Windows 7 because I've never needed to. So I'll see if this works, and if it doesn't, maybe I'll try doing a fresh install of Windows on a separate computer and then booting it again, or maybe I'll just try a Linux distribution or the PLOP method, which someone mentioned last video. But additionally, in order to get Windows 7, I did not want to use the onboard graphics because I knew that would just be a completely awful experience. I didn't want to try, so I threw in this 64 megabyte. I think this is a ATI. What is this? An ATI. Yeah, it's a VisionTech 7000 PCI video card with 64 megabytes of video RAM on board. Yesterday we tried to boot Windows 7 and Windows XP off a hard drive, but that did not work due to the configuration settings. It would not switch over and boot on this IBM server. So now what I'm going to do is take this floppy, which I just put PLOP on. Someone suggested that in my last video to use PLOP. I've never heard of it until now, so this is my first time trying it. But in theory, this PLOP floppy should allow me to boot from this CD with Ubuntu 12.04 on it. So this is going to be the next thing that we try. Okay, so now PLOP is inside the floppy drive and Ubuntu 12.04 is in the CD-ROM drive. So we booted the system up and it did boot into FLOP. It's actually pretty cool. Booted up into this little live environment right here. So either we can select to boot from the floppy, which obviously we already are, CD-ROM or a USB device. I have it on a CD currently, so we're going to go ahead and select that option. I actually like this background. It's really cool that they could fit all this on one 1.44 megabyte floppy disk. It
but let's go ahead and try the CD-ROM drive option. Alright, that's awesome. So it looks like we are in business now. Just a quick correction, apparently this is Ubuntu 13.04, not 12.04. So this version's a little bit newer than I expected because I thought only 12.04 could fit on a CD-ROM, but apparently 13.04 could too. So this is version 13.04. Unfortunately, we did get an error message when we were booting into the live environment. I'm going to go ahead and check to see if it has anything to do with the PAE support of the CPU. I'm going to go ahead and switch PAE off, and maybe it will boot past this error. So let me go ahead and try that. It appears that Ubuntu 13.04 just isn't going to boot. I tried to force PAE, that didn't work. And really at this point, I don't know what else to do because I've never really had this issue with any of my systems. So I'm going to go ahead and try something else that's not Ubuntu based. I have a bunch of Ubuntu based operating systems like, of course, Ubuntu and Xubuntu and then Bodhi Linux. But I don't think I think we'll probably get the same error message that we did right here. So I'm not going to try those. I'm going to try something a little bit more primitive, but still feature packed, which would be, I think I'm going to try WarriPuppy now. Just for the heck of it, and because it was on top of all of my operating system disks, I'm going to go ahead and see if Bodhi Linux will boot into the live operating system, but I doubt it will. This is an older version. I think this is based off Ubuntu 12.04, so it might work. But I'm going to go ahead and try this out, and if it doesn't work, we'll just revert back to the original plan, which was to use WarriPuppy. And of course that didn't work, so yep, we're going to go ahead and revert to the original plan. I'm going to go ahead and throw WarriPuppy into this PC. And WarriPuppy did not work, so right now I'm kind of disappointed. I have one final option, and that would be to use damn small Linux, which I've never had any problems with, so I'm counting on damn small Linux to save me right now. I have it on the CD right on my bed over there in that pile, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the system and cross my fingers because I really want to boot this up into some sort of operating system to test out its capabilities. I'm really surprised right now because this is what I got when I tried to boot into the live environment of DSL. Absolutely nothing, as you can see. It's been about 15 minutes, screen still black. I think the operating system just crashed. So DSL is not going to work. I'm really disappointed because that was my last option. But what I could do is, do you see that hard drive over there with Windows XP on it? Well, let me get that in focus actually. I could take that, throw it in this machine, and then try to install Windows 7 so it configures properly, so it will run on this particular PC, or even Windows XP if 7 doesn't work. But I want to try 7 first, then I'm going to go down to Windows XP, and then I'm just going to give up and trash this video altogether. Okay, so here is Windows 7 Ultimate on a flash drive. Of course, this is the 32-bit edition as I mentioned earlier. And the reason I'm putting it on a flash drive is because this computer isn't equipped with a DVD drive. And unfortunately, pretty much all of my DVD drives have died. So all I have left are CD-ROM drives, and of course we can install Windows using a CD-ROM drive. So I installed Windows onto a flash drive, and we are going to boot from this flash drive using PLOP. And here we go. Just got out of the PLOP interface, and Windows is now loading from the flash drive. I suspect this will take a while though, since the USB ports on this computer, I believe, are USB 1.0 or 1.1, as I said in the last video. So data transfer speeds are going to be a bit slow, but once we get it installed on this Seagate hard drive over here, that really won't be an issue. Let me get that in focus. There we go. This is killing me. So I tried to install Windows 7, and we actually got into the installer, as you can see. But when we tried to install it onto a particular drive, it could not find the drive because it did not have the proper storage controller drivers installed. And you know, I have no idea where I'm going to get the drivers from. I cannot find the drivers anywhere. So I'm giving up on Windows 7. I'm going to try XP because XP might work a bit better since, you know, it's older. So I'm gonna install Windows XP to the flash drive over there and see if we can't get it to install. I'm crossing my fingers because I'm about to give up and just, oh, this is so frustrating. Windows XP did not work. The minute I got out of PLOP to try to boot from the USB flash drive, the system just crashed. So could not install Windows XP. Right now, I'm actually trying something Debian based. This is called Point. I was looking up lightweight Linux distributions and I came across this. This actually looks pretty neat, based off Debian. I'm gonna try it. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. As you can see, we are currently booting into the live environment right now. I'm not sure if it froze or not though, because that status bar just stopped moving, so we'll see in a minute. But I'm crossing my fingers. I am so frustrated at this point, and I just hope this works, because I don't know, I might cry if it doesn't. Oh my god, it worked. It worked. 7 hours later, I'm still here. We're still here. We got it done. Oh my god. Oh my god, thank god. It's over. It's all over.
Oh, we've done it. We've finally done it. 7 hours later, I've found a Linux distribution that will actually boot onto this computer. Oh my god, that was killer. Yes, we are browsing the web with this PC, but besides that, check out how horrible these integrated graphics are. Now granted, the proper drivers are not installed and it's just using the generic Linux drivers or whatever Debian is equipped with, but it's still pretty horrible. Check out that delay. That is nearly unbearable and it's really holding the system back. So I think I've shown you guys the integrated graphics. I think I'm going to take the VisionTech 7000 that I have in my eMachine T1090 and throw it in this PC, because I really can't take this. I mean, it's not that bad when we maximize this and just scroll through a web page, but it's still jerky. It's really holding the system back. I mean, this is a server after all, so it's meant to, you set it up and you leave it there. I mean, you're not supposed to be messing with graphics or anything. It's not meant to be a gaming PC, or even a web browsing PC, but I mean, the graphics are just really unbearable, so I'm going to throw in the VisionTech 7000 and leave it at that. That VisionTech card inside the PC right now. We have used this on many occasions, and I'm using it once again inside this PC. As you can see, I have it in a PCI 64-bit slot, but it's only using the 32-bit section of the slot. So let's go ahead and move over to the monitor. And as you can see, the resolution is a lot higher than it was with the integrated graphics. But let's go ahead and try to scroll through this web page, and as you can see, that's absolutely beautiful. A lot better than what we had before with integrated graphics. Let's go ahead and minimize this, drag this page around. And that's probably a 30 times improvement over what the integrated graphics could do. I mean, they were really holding the system back, and now I think, for the most part, we can test out the full potential of the system. The only thing that's really bottlenecking us is the fact that we are running this off a USB device plugged into a USB 1.1 port or 1.0 port. Once again, I'm really not sure which it is. But the transfer speeds are really low on that, so anytime we're going to try to open something, it's going to take forever. But besides that, I think we're good. This particular Linux distribution is pretty stripped down. I mean, it is meant to run really light on system resources, and as you can see, it does. We're only using 165 megabytes of RAM out of the 1.5 gigabytes that we have. And as you can see, it is recognizing both of our CPUs. You can see CPU 1 and CPU 2 both taking a load right there. Let me go ahead and zoom in for you guys and focus it just a little bit. Oh, I love that manual focus right there. And you can see CPU 1 and CPU 2. So both of our Pentium 3s are being recognized by this operating system. Now let's go ahead and see how this operating system and how some basic programs run on this particular computer. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, this operating system is pretty stripped down, so we're not going to be able to run any benchmarks or any games or anything like that, but we can open some basic programs such as LibreOffice, and we can browse the web because I do have my USB dongle plugged into the system and it is recognized. So I was browsing the web earlier. As you saw, I was on my website. We're checking the performance of the graphics, which were awful, and now they're not bad. So we can go ahead and start demoing programs right now.
As you can see, when sitting idle, each CPU is under about 10% load, and of course we are running the system monitor as well, so that's taking up some system resources, but I mean, we really have no choice since we need the system monitor open in order to see the CPU usage. Let's go ahead and start opening programs and see how that changes. And you can see it already slightly fluctuating right there. Our CPU usage is jumping to about 15% on each core. First, I'm going to start off with some basic Office programs. Let's go ahead and open LibreOffice Writer. And if I were to repurpose this machine, it would make a great Office machine running Linux for someone. I'm not sure who I would give it to. I'm also thinking about turning it into a firewall for my web server, a Linux firewall. That would also be really cool. I'm not sure yet. Or I might just put it in storage and save it for later or for parts. I really don't want to part this thing out because it's just so beautiful. I mean, really, anything IBM and anything this old, I don't like touching. I don't like messing with it because I think it's just cool. I think it's a part of history, and I don't want to mess with it. Now, if you're talking about something like a Pentium 4 machine, something from pretty much 2005 and above, I could care less. You know, part that thing out. I don't care at all. And load times are being affected due to the fact that we are running this live distribution off a USB flash drive plugged into a USB 1.0 port. And really, it's mind-boggling to think that we could even do that with a computer this old. I am loving PLOP. I think I'm going to make a video just about PLOP because it's just great. Whoever told me about this, I'm going to mention you in the beginning of the video, but whoever mentioned this to me is a genius. I love you so much because this is going to make so many things so much easier. I can do so many more videos now. You've opened up so many doors. PLOP is great. I've never heard of it up until now, but I am loving it. Okay, so LibreOffice Writer opened up just fine. Let me go ahead and situate the camera. There we go. So let's try and use some of the basic functions within this application. Let's just try typing something. How about hello YouTube? Let's put some exclamation marks at the end of that because we're excited because we're actually running an operating system on this computer. Hello YouTube. That T should be capitalized. That's going to annoy me. Alright. Let's try manipulating the text now, make it bold, change the font size. Let's see, what do we have? There we go. Oh, that was the font style. My bad. Now we're going to change the font size. Let's make it huge. 66. Hello, YouTube. Change the color. I don't know. I want to make it orange. That works. And let's underline it just for the heck of it. Why not? There we go. So as you can see, LibreOffice Writer is pretty responsive. Those two Pentium 3s are really helping keep this program going. Everything works just fine so far. This is my first Pentium 3 machine, and I have to say I'm really loving how cool these Pentium 3s are running. Now, a lot of the computers I pick up have Pentium 4s in them, and they are just awful. They are heat generators. I have a Pentium 4 server running in my closet, and it is like a million degrees in there. It is so hot. But this computer, keep in mind, this computer has been running for 5 hours now because we've been switching out the operating systems and everything. It has shut down in between that, but for the most part, it has been running for 5 hours. We're running our Debian-based live operating system right now, still on, and these things are still cool to the touch. Well, the heat sinks at least are cool to the touch. You wouldn't get that with a Pentium 4 or even a Coppermine Celeron for that matter, because I have a Coppermine Celeron as well. And it still runs warm to the touch, but this is nice and cool. If anything, ouch, I think it's room temperature. I just almost lost my finger there in the fan. But the hottest thing probably in this PC is the RAM, because I can feel the heat coming off there. I should probably either close the case so air circulation comes over the RAM, or put some kind of fan over it, because I can feel it's getting pretty hot. I'm going to go ahead and open a couple more Office programs before we move on to the web browser. The next program I'm going to open is LibreOffice Impress, which is similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. It shouldn't take too long. There we go. Popped right open. That wasn't as long as LibreOffice Writer took to open. Let's go ahead and try to manipulate some of the objects here. We have a text box right here. Let's just try to drag it around. That's actually nice and smooth. When I was running my Pentium 4 machine paired with a what was it, GeForce 6200, I think, I had a lot of problems with LibreOffice Impress. I actually wish I found this machine a long time ago, because I would have used it as my my Linux computer for a little bit. This would have been a really nice little Linux box. But yeah, as you can see, text boxes move around just fine. We can manipulate them just fine, resize them, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and add some text. Of course, I mean, really this is the same thing as LibreOffice Writer. I'm going to go ahead and manipulate it, change all that, underline it, italicize it, bold, change the font. Alright, can we add clip art? I'm not really familiar with LibreOffice Impress. I didn't really use it that much. I didn't like it. To be honest, I like Microsoft Office PowerPoint a lot more than I liked Impress. So I just gave up on it. But let's go ahead and see if we can add in some sort of object. I'm absolutely lost here. Oh, it looks like it's down here. Rectangle. Let's add a rectangle. There we go. No? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Alright. Did not like that, but here's our rectangle. Adding it was a bit of a struggle, but now that's here, we can manipulate. Oh, there we go. I think that aspect of the program just wasn't loaded into the RAM yet, so it had to get it off the flash drive first and then load it into the RAM. And now that we've actually used that feature, it's reserved there already, so nice and quick and easy to use now. So Impress works just fine. Let's open up one more Office program. Last but not least, let's go ahead and pop open the Libre version of Excel, which would be LibreOffice Calc. And as you can see, the CPU usage just spiked just a bit as we open this program. Honestly, I have never used LibreOffice Calc before. I've always used Excel, so really not sure if this is going to be anything really similar to Excel, but I'm going to try to manipulate some of the rows and columns here, type in some information. I'm not going to stay too long on this because, once again, I don't want to portray myself as a fool. So that looks like it works just fine. I mean, I'm going to mess with the text in here a little bit. I'm not going to do any complex formulas or anything. Yeah, I'm really not going to mess around with this that much. So closing out of this, it opened. It seems like it's functioning just fine. So we are good to go with that. Now, next I want to move on to web browsing. We have Firefox installed on this. Not sure what version it is. I'll go ahead and check once we open it. As I said earlier, I have our MediaLink wireless dongle plugged in right under the flash drive right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's that little black dongle poking out right under the blue flash drive. Zoom back out. And we are going to check out the CPU usage while browsing the web, see how smooth it browses the web. I don't think it's going to be able to play YouTube videos because I have tried that already, and every time I go on YouTube, the browser does crash, so not really confident in playing YouTube videos. I'll try once again, and if it crashes, I'll just record it and show you guys, but really, I think we're going to stick mainly to web browsing and stay away from YouTube. Alright, so let's go ahead and surf the web. We have our Firefox icon right here at the top. I'm going to go ahead and click on it to open it up. It's going to take a couple seconds just because we are running this off the USB flash drive. But there we go, Mozilla Firefox is open. And now we can begin browsing the web. But before we do that, I want to check out what version this is. I promised you guys I would do that earlier. So about Firefox, this is version 39.0. I think that's the newest version. I'm not 100% sure because I don't use Firefox, but at least I know it's recent. Earlier I said I would demo this computer trying to run YouTube at least, so let's go ahead and go onto YouTube. It's probably not going to work. After about 15 seconds on here, the whole thing just crashes, but who knows. Let's try to search up my channel, because I don't want to get into any copyright problems. Oh, yep, and it crashed, so we can forget about YouTube. Firefox is back open and we can start browsing some of our favorite web pages once again. So I think I'm going to hit Tom's Hardware, CNN, and of course my personal website. So I'm going to hit my personal website first. And we're slowly but surely going to get there. That's probably my fault on my end, just because my web server is kind of slow. But here we go, we are on my homepage, and if you guys haven't checked out my website yet, you really should, because there's some cool free stuff here. If you go to downloads, free YouTube intros, and even free 3D animations, I have all the stuff from What We Want on there, as you can see, and actually some extras as well. But if you go to free YouTube intros, I haven't done any 2D YouTube intros yet, just because I haven't had the time. But if you go into free 3D YouTube intros, no, I don't. You can see that I have a bunch of free 3D backgrounds right here, free for all of my subscribers to use in their videos. So go ahead and check that out. Moving on, let's go ahead and hit Tom's Hardware. So www.tomshardware.com. And while we're browsing, I want to go ahead and open up a task manager, or I guess they call it system monitor. So let me go ahead and get that up. System, where is it? Once again, not really used to this operating system. Here we go, system tools, mate system monitor. Oh, and you can see we're having some refresh issues right here. There we go. So I'm going to minimize this so we can leave the task manager open while we're browsing the web. I'm going to throw this up in the top left corner. And bring up our system monitor, throw it over here. As you can see, our CPU usage is spiking to nearly 100%. Oh. As you just saw, Firefox did crash when we were manipulating the page, but now I have it back open. I have the system monitor to the right, and then to the left of that I have Firefox open, so we can see all of our resource usage right here as we are browsing the web. Currently we're using about 300 more megabytes of memory than we would if the system was just sitting idle, and the CPU is sitting at around 40% when we're not doing anything, just sitting on the web page. Actually it dropped a little bit, so now we're around 30%. So just going to scroll through here, and you can see the CPU usage jump as we scroll down. But let's go ahead and pop open an article. I don't know. I was looking for something interesting. I'll just click on the first thing. There we go. You can see the CPU usage spike. Our memory just dropped a little bit. I guess there's less on this page. Gonna wait for the page to load. And it crashed again. Darn it.
I am back, and it's been about 12 hours since we shot that last clip. I just had my cup of coffee, and I am ready to go again. So, when we last left off, I believe that Firefox just kept crashing. It crashed with YouTube, it crashed with Tom's Hardware. It didn't crash with my website, but so far we've been pretty unsuccessful with using a web browser on this machine. I'm going to do one more demonstration with the web browser. I'm going to try to get on CNN, because that's another website that I use a lot. And we'll see if that crashes or if it actually runs through the internet browser. And then after that, we'll go and try out a couple other random applications, and I think we'll call it a day, because unfortunately this is a live distribution of a Debian-based Linux distro. I can't really run any benchmarks. I wanted to. I tried to install Windows and I couldn't. That was the main goal, to install Windows and run some benchmarks, or use something like Xubuntu or Lubuntu, or even WarriorPuppy that already has some benchmarks installed. Maybe the first two don't. I might be going crazy there. But I want to run some benchmarks. The point is we won't be able to. So I'm kind of disappointed. But long story short, you're still going to get to see a demo. You still got to see a demo, I mean. After all, we are almost done. So let's go ahead and continue with this. And on that bombshell, I think it's about time we move away from web browsing and try out a couple different applications before I end this video.
So I'm going to go under Applications, see exactly what we have here. We have a calculator built in. That's great. Most operating systems these days should. Alright, that's working. What else can we open up here? Graphics, Eye of Mate Image Viewer. Do we have anything similar to Paint, I wonder? Of course LibreOffice Draw will be, but I was thinking of a separate application not embedded within the LibreOffice suite. But let's go ahead and try that out anyway. You can see our CPU usage spiking just a little bit. Once again, we are running this off the USB flash drive, so it has to load it into the RAM. Just give it a couple seconds, or maybe a little bit more than a couple seconds. Aha, there we go. We're actually starting to load it. That took forever just for the progress bar to start moving. And it's stuck in the middle. All right. Are you gonna open this time? There we go. And once again, I really don't use LibreOffice Draw that much, so I'm just gonna mess around here. Let's try out our drawing application. Can we draw a line here? Ooh. Can I draw how about our I guess I could say our logo. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to freestyle this. I don't know. Draw a line. I give up. I give up. This is nothing like Paint. Wow. And I am absolutely awful at this, but you can see we can manipulate the lines, all that good stuff. Pretty much the same thing we could do in every other program in the LibreOffice suite. Woo! Alright, what's our CPU usage look like? Alright, not bad. We're somewhere around 50% when we were manipulating objects here. Let's just do it again while it's still open. Yeah, and you can see it jump right there. We're moving to about, yeah. CPU 2 is at 50% and CPU 1 is hovering about around 70%. So, not taking too much of a toll on the Pentium 3. Alright, what else can we play with here? Are there any cool system programs under preferences? Not really. Basically all just management programs for the system itself. I mean, all these are going to be pretty boring. Don't want to mess with any of them. What's under Control Center? Probably all the same stuff, I'm betting. Yep, all the same stuff is under Control Center. It's just laid out in a nice menu fashion. Gonna X this out. Try to see if there's any other interesting applications. There's a text editor here. Let's pop that open. That shouldn't take as long to open as LibreOffice does. There we go. That was reasonable. It works just fine. I'm starting to get bored here, so I think I'm going to call it a day with this video. Anything else we can really use here? I haven't showed you guys the file manager yet, so I'll pop that open real quick. We'll browse the file system just for a couple seconds. And of course, most of this is going to be empty. Can I go into the I'm going to go into the file system itself and check out some system files so you guys can see that load. There we go. What's going to have a lot of stuff in here? Let me think. This should. There we go. And you can see our CPU usage jumping just a bit as we open that up, and now it's back to normal. Scroll through all this. Once again, nice and smooth scrolling thanks to that VisionTech video card. Alright, and I think that's going to be about it for this video.
Going into this video, I had really high hopes for this computer, and unfortunately I'm sort of disappointed now because we couldn't get Windows 7 up and running, we couldn't get Windows XP up and running, and we couldn't really run the benchmarks that we wanted to. I want to benchmark this system, check out, the system's really powerful for something from 2001. We have over a gig of RAM, we have 2 Pentium III processors in it running at 1.1 gigahertz, we have 1.5 gigabytes of RAM to be exact, so I wanted to put it up to the test and test it against modern PCs to see where it stands still. Obviously, I mean, it's not going to be as powerful as a modern PC, but for something from 2001, I really wanted to see where it stood, and unfortunately we couldn't do that because we could only use a Linux distribution, a live Linux distribution with no benchmarking tools on it. That being said, I am happy that this video will be published. We actually did get it to boot into a live operating system thanks to PLOP and thanks to this lightweight Debian Linux distribution. this video was not a complete loss, but I'm tired. I'm gonna call it a day. I've had enough of this. It's been a really long time. My room's just a mess. I need to clean my workspace up. It's time to end it. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys in the next installment of AA Computers and Technology. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video. And of course, do not forget to leave a comment in the comments section. If you have any grievances or you have any questions or anything like that, suggestions, that kind of thing. As you can see, I'm losing it right now. My speech is starting to slur. I'm out of it. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next installment of AA Computers and Technology. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you later.